Hey, what's up crew? It's Wyatt with Tikkun Homestead, and today we're going to be tackling a classic, a breakfast sandwich. But it's not just any sandwich. We're elevating a casual favorite into a fancy delight. Think of it as your usual egg and muffin combo, but with a twist of flair. We're adding unique ingredients, a dash of creativity, and of course, a sprinkle of love. We'll share some successes and also hiccups along the way, and demonstrate how, with just a touch of extra effort, we can transform a simple meal into a beautiful and delicious masterpiece. So join us in the kitchen, and let's discover together. So we're starting off with the simple ingredients: salt and pepper, butter, lemon zest, Grano Padano cheese, egg, yellow onion, Munster cheese, whipping cream, olive oil, lemon, chicken stock, arugula, cornmeal, sugar, milk, flour, and yeast. We're going to activate the yeast here in some warm water and warm milk. We want it at about 95 to 100 degrees in order to activate that yeast. Here we see that we got 96.8. We're gonna add a little bit of sugar to the milk, and then add our yeast and let our yeast wake up. While the yeast is waking up, we're gonna go ahead and put the dry ingredients as well as some softened butter in a big bowl. And we're gonna whisk the softened butter into the flour and salt. So now the yeast is awake, and it's just about time to add it to the batter. Now we want to mix it up real well to distribute that yeast throughout the flour so the yeast can do its job. So after the dough is all mixed, we're going to go ahead and knead it real quick in order to form some gluten. And after it's all kneaded, we're going to go ahead and put it in a bowl with a towel over the top to rest and rise. Meanwhile, let's go ahead and get the sauce ready. We're going to dice up some onions. You don't have to make it a fancy dice, but the smaller a dice you get, the more surface area you have to caramelize. And I'll show you that here in a second. We're gonna add some salt and sugar to the onions, which does two things. It pulls the moisture out of the onions and allows it to steam off, as well as adds reducing sugars to the mix in order to give us a better crust in the Maillard reaction. Because the next step here is to go ahead and caramelize those onions. While the onions start to brown, we're going to go ahead and add a knob of butter. That knob of butter is going to brown and add some extra depth of flavor to the caramelized onions. Once those onions are looking and smelling real good, we're going to throw them into a blender, and we're going to deglaze the pan with some white wine. We're going to reduce that white wine to cook off the alcohol, and we're going to add that to the blender as well. Now this here is some gelatinous chicken stock that I made. We're going to melt it down into a liquid and throw that into the blender with it, along with the lemon zest and the Grano Padano cheese. Now while it's pureeing, we're going to add some heavy cream. After it's pureed to a good consistency, we're going to throw it into a pot and allow it to reduce a little bit more. And while that's simmering on low heat, we're going to do a basic dressing of some arugula with some lemon juice and olive oil and pepper. As a side note, I don't like to put salt in salad mix because, again, it pulls the moisture out of the salad and makes it wilt faster. Now the reveal of our dough. It's been rising for about 45 minutes and it's time to knead it. Now I was originally shooting for a porous English muffin as a final result. However, I didn't want to follow a recipe. I wanted to make my own recipe, to tell you the truth, and I hadn't perfected it yet. So I folded it and pushed it down a lot, and that made it a little more flaky. But I'll tell you what, once I perfect my English muffin recipe, I'll make another video on how to make English muffins, and you guys can see how I do it. So next we're going to take our cutter and we're going to cut out our rings. With the excess dough, it's still usable. You can just press it back down flat and then cut out more rings, but we're only going to do 3 for this video here. Next, I put a little bit of olive oil over each of the cuttings, and I put a little bit of cornmeal over the top of that, just so that way it sticks. And I throw them on heat, and then I cover them to keep the steam in. As they cook, I flip them 4 times total. And now the reveal. When we split it open, we can see here that it's a little bit more flaky and more biscuity than an English muffin, but it's okay. It still turns out delicious. So now, after halving the muffins, we put them on the pan over the heat with some olive oil and put the weight over the top. Meanwhile, on the side, we cook the egg to a sunny side up. Now we're gonna start the fun part of the plating. First off, we add a slice of Munster cheese over the top, and then we use our brulee torch and we brown that cheese. And we're gonna add another piece of cheese diagonally to it and brown that as well. This is gonna be the base for what the egg sits on. Now on the top part of the bun, we're gonna add some arugula, get our little tweezers out and make it look pretty. And that's the money shot, an overly complicated breakfast sandwich that's absolutely delicious. And that's a wrap, crew. A distinctive spin on a breakfast classic. We transformed a simple sandwich into something extraordinary with just a little bit of Tikkun ingenuity. If you like this journey of flavor and creativity, please give us a thumbs up. We're eager to hear your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more culinary adventures. Share this video with your friends if you enjoyed it. It really helps our channel to grow. So thanks for joining me in the kitchen, and together, let's continue making this world a better place.